This is the SML podcast.
Were you born with it, or was it Maybelline?
Maybe it's Maybelline.
A little from column A, a little from column B.
Everybody loves natural beauty.
Yeah,
Maybe she's born with it. Maybe it's Joe.
Just start.
But
Stop
he's eating.
chewing your food and do intro.
Is that taco? It
Are we
looks
recording?
like Taco Hell.
It is Taco Hell.
Yeah.
Are we recording?
That's why.
Green bar means.
That's why I'm hinting
Where's
at
the green
you.
bar?
Green bar is right
Oh
there.
my God. Do you see the numbers ticking at the bottom?
See the numbers?
All right, what's up, everybody? I'm Tim.
I'm Chris.
And I'm sick.
Me
and
too.
this is the SML sick cast because MAGFest, MAGFlu Fest.
Fuck. Oh my god.
If I get stick.
Special-
If I get stick.
If you get stuck,
Special guest this week so that I don't have to talk as much. Big Matt from MAGFest. What's up, Big
What's
Matt?
up?
Introduce yourself. Tell us about you, and I'm going to nap.
I'm Big Matt. I hate everything about MAGFest.
Is that why you canceled it this year?
I cancel it every year, man.
Nice. So, tell us about you. Who are you? What the fuck do you do? And why should people care?
First of all, nobody should care. Let's see here. I am the head music director for the Music and Gaming Festival. I book bands and rent equipment and spend all of MagProm setting up the second stage in my suit. And
looking damn
Generally-
good doing it.
And generally, I have a lot of love from a lot of people and a lot of animosity from other people. And it's pretty much a bunch of balancing plates as to how much people are mad and how much people aren't mad and shit like that. And usually the
Magfest.
people being mad wins out. And outside of MAGFest, I perform in a couple of bands. I book tours for the nerd music, video game music scene. I book other conventions and generic shit like that.
Sounds
All right.
fascinating.
That covered 2 minutes of the podcast. Now, all you got to do is ramble for another 58. And we're-
58 and we're golden.
Oh, I never agreed to do a full hour. What the hell is this?
We gotcha now.
You're not leaving now.
Yeah, you can't actually disconnect the Skype call unless we do it.
It's locked in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or something.
It'll go on like some sort of bad score on your Skype account
If
for
you
disconnecting the call.
If you hit close, your computer monitor explodes into your face, and you die.
Oh, I needed to get rid of this laptop anyway.
Yeah, but did you also need to get rid of your face?
You need your face.
Well, if the screen's going to explode when I end the call, I just close the laptop, thus turning off the computer. Thus, glass is not aimed towards my face.
But it'll be aimed towards the lithium-ion battery, which will also explode if punctured.
And if it's on your lap, it's aimed at your balls.
That's even
No,
worse.
But you don't need those.
It's on top of a metal table.
Well, I
So
guess
then
you're
it'll
good
ricochet everywhere.
Well, that was Big Matt.
Let me-
That was a good call. Oh my God, your bag is so noisy.
Is the metal table actually your balls?
No, they are not. And no, I do not have a fleshlight on.
Oh, he did his homework.
Someone knows our show.
Just going to get this out of the way now.
Are you playing Dark Souls by any
Wait,
chance?
hold on. Dark Souls 2 trailer. Awesome. It was.
I won't watch it because I want to go into the game as blind as possible.
You're gonna go in blind and you're gonna go.
Yeah, but you're also talking to a guy who can like speed run that game now.
Dude, the stuff that they even showed for this game now, it looks fucking absurd.
Well,
Like, I'm ready.
I saw the first stuff they put out for it, and was really impressed when they showed like, oh, there's a monster locked up behind a wall. If you poke him with an arrow, he'll break through the wall and come after you. They showed a carriage coming through a tunnel, and you can see the light coming, and you try to get out of the way, and it just fucking kills you. Like,
I'm ready.
So much fun stuff, and that was all I needed to see. I'm like, nah, I'm good. I'm sold.
You're dark souled.
Yeah, I'm dark sold. Hashtag it. Hashtag it. It's
No.
a thing now.
No, I'm not hashtagging it.
Fuck you.
So
Hashtag YOLO.
I'm gonna try and
Yo laughed.
Yo laughed. You only live a few times.
I'm gonna make buttons that say hashtag yo laughed.
Hashtag yo laugh.
I want to make buttons that say cutthroats.
All right, so Matt, you are the music director for MAGFest. How did you get involved with MAGFest in the beginning?
Oh, man. Back in the day, my first MAGFest was MAGFest 3 in Williamsburg, Virginia. It was the first time I'd ever heard of and or attended a MAGFest. And at first, I almost completely turned around and left because the first thing I saw upon pulling up to check in
Was Joe.
was a 400-pound Chun-Li.
Oh.
Oh, so it was me.
That was Joe.
It was Joe.
And I was just I have severe reservations about this, but I ended up sticking around.
I have severe reservations at my hotel.
9 years later, you still have severe reservations.
I've already canceled next year's MAGFest.
All right.
Just putting that out there now. Then I went to 4, which was in Charlottesville at the Doubletree, if I remember correctly.
Doubletree?
Then-
Triple tree?
Triple
Oh,
Triad.
there were so many hotels in the middle there.
Let's see here. So at 4 was pure and utter chaos as far as the concerts went. People were jumping up on the stage, being general assholes and shit like that. And so in between 4 and 5, I hit up Paul and Brendan and some girl who used to staff that I don't remember the name of at all anymore because she stopped right after 5. And I told them that I'd be interested in doing concert security, and I bounced at a club down in Greenville, North Carolina at the time, and I had a couple of other bouncer buddies who wanted to come do it with me. And so MAGFest 5 came up, did concert security, did that every year until MAGFest 9, when I took a more direct role in helping manage the concerts and shit like that. And then me and Karen fired Dom and took over the music department. And
Nice.
now here I am.
Yay!
Yay!
No, I'd be really excited about doing it. Since you've been doing it for so long, what are the things that you essentially what are the things you look forward to, and what are the things you don't look forward to when it comes to picking the bands for the next year?
Nothing.
Man love.
The thing is back in the day, it was really easy to pick bands because there weren't a lot of bands, there weren't a lot of talented people, things like that. And then
No talent.
all of a sudden, around MAGFest 9, every motherfucker in the world wanted to start doing video game music, and everybody's the applications this year keep getting more and more ridiculous. It's stage 2 started at MAGFest 10, and there were a lot of joke bands on stage 2, Search Snake, other things like that. And then as you watch the progression, stage 2 now has become here are all the new bands. Holy fuck, all of these guys could easily be on main stage.
Yeah.
So it's been helpful. The biggest challenge that Karen and I face when we pick bands is figuring out how to keep things. We're trying to find a balance between old stuff that people like and new stuff that we hope and think people will like. And that leads to actually a lot of the arguments that happen over the internet.
Yeah, I know one of the big controversies was the whole virt not appearing at MAG 12. And
Yeah.
I understand.
You started that too, Joe.
I didn't start it. I
Joe,
just jumped
you
on
whiny
it.
bitch.
Well, no, it's honestly, I can understand wanting to get a whole lot of new people there, and you guys are doing a great job with getting new people there. But I think I can't understand why, of all people, virt would be turned away.
Well, in a nutshell, I can tell you this exactly.
Uh-oh.
First of all, since we're going to talk on the topic of chiptunes, I just wanted to be here and known that there are maybe a grand total of 5 entire chiptune acts that I actually like. 5.
That might be more than me. I'm not a big chiptune guy myself.
I'm honestly not either. So what happened?
Although I would
is
blow Danimal every night of the week. I would.
a couple years ago, I pretty much said I was going to scrap chiptunes entirely because I was so sick of it. And
I don't think that would go over well.
I don't, Joe. You know, I don't care what other people think.
Well, now, since you're running something, now mind you, I go to a lot of conventions. I've been to conventions for the past. God, how old am I? 12 years, so about 12. I'm 12 years old. No, I've been going to conventions for about 12 years. Now, one of the big problems that I've been encountering lately is and it's the typical story for a lot of people that work or run sections of conventions anymore, which is they started out going to the convention, then they got a job at the convention, and now they run a section or the entire convention itself. And one of the biggest problems with some of the bigger conventions or conventions that have gotten bigger are that a lot of the people working there seem to only take into account what they like or what they feel, not necessarily what they think the congoers want to see.
Exactly. Now, see, the thing is I started off as a music band guy. Yeah. Like when I was working security, the bands are the people I always interacted with the most. The bands are the people that, I don't like make friends that are just attendees or things like that. The only reason that I'm really friends with Joe is because I met Joe back when I was just an attendee.
And he is cute.
And there's honestly not a lot of people that I can say that about now that either still come or
Joe will come
that I give a shit about, to be honest. So on a personal level. So what happened is with the chiptunes, I was toying around with the idea back at 11 of just scrapping chiptunes entirely. And a couple of my friends that I know online were like, no, you can't scrap chiptunes. And I was like, well, I could. I technically do have I could do it. It's like, and so then I formed a chiptune team. Like the way that the music department honestly works is it's kind of like a clock. There's like the big wheel, and there's a whole bunch of little cogs surrounding it. The chiptune team is one of those. And staying on topic about the whole virt thing, what happened is because I don't like a lot of chiptune music, we always have 8 slots for chiptunes.
Oh, man, it's like 8 bits. I get it.
I decided to take two of those slots, and I was going to book based off the applications that we received, because there were a couple of applications we received that I actually genuinely did like. And then the other 2 members of my chiptune team both picked 2 new people, and each of them got to pick 1 returning act. And one of them picked Sheep Dinosaurs, and one of them picked Danimal Cannon. That's why virt didn't get booked.
And that seems fair. That does seem fair.
It's just like that.
And that's the thing. When people are kind of like, presented how everything comes to be, it makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
And that's, I can completely understand from where Matt's coming from, where it's just like, you know what, man, like maybe you don't necessarily like the way that things are going, but at the same time, you have to be able to respect how it comes to terms. Like you have to
I love virt. Like Jake is somebody I consider to be a really good friend of mine, but I constantly throughout the years have to battle this rumor that I'm show favoritism. I only book my friends, things like that. So
can you book me next year?
You don't play any instruments.
I play the fallopian tuba.
That was my instrument.
And I think we made that joke a number of times last week. So
I don't think you'll be able to play that instrument at MAGFest.
You could, if you try hard enough.
I'm sure there's a lot of people playing the fallopian tuba.
No, probably not that many.
No, probably not. We're all sweaty.
They're playing more skin flutes than fallopian tubas.
Actually, wait, I'm not sweaty and fat. I'm attractive. Oh, my life.
Oh, my life. No, dude. I mean, like, I completely understand. And even just like going to MAGFest this year, since this was my first MAGFest, I bonded so much more with the musicians that were there because that's what I am. Like, I got along with a lot of the musician side of a lot of the con goers and stuff like that because, like, I was able to sympathize with how hectic their schedule was and how much they had to do. And a lot of people like don't necessarily look into like how much really goes into like when Joe was telling me, and I had even seen like I saw you at the merch table and I was like, man, I've been seeing this guy like everywhere that I've been. And he's like setting gear up and he's like doing sound and all this stuff. I'm like, this guy's got to be fucking like just out of his gourd. And then I realized like, oh, this is the guy that does everything about the music. He is the M. He is the M in MAGFest.
Pretty much. MAGFest. Big MAGFest.
I thought that was music.
MAGFest.
Yeah.
Anyway,
but so I mean, like I understood like how much work really goes into it. So I understand like how much of a stress it can really become. And there's a lot of people that they could say like, oh yeah, dude, I totally understand, but they don't really understand until they have to actually do it. Like,
so
a lot of the old bands understand because like back when I was just the security guy, it'd be like, okay, concert's done, time to party with everybody. Yeah.
Someone's still got to tear the equipment down. Like,
yeah. And then like once MAGFest 9 hit, it's like, okay, all the concerts are done. Time to keep working.
Yeah.
Text messages, Matt, where are you at? It's like working. And now like a lot of the bands, like whenever they do get to see me, they're just like, hey man, how's it going? It's like, oh, I'm great. And it's like, okay, cool. I'm like, yeah. It's like, you partying this year? It's like, probably not. Just gonna be honest. Are you staying through Sunday night? Because then, yeah, sure. It's like I got to spend maybe a total of 30 minutes with Norg and Finbeard on Sunday before I had to go hunt down somebody's missing keyboard amp.
Oh, jeez.
At like 11 o'clock at night on Sunday. And it's just, I don't get to have fun at MAGFest anymore.
So let me ask you this: when it comes to equipment, like you said, you find rentals and stuff like that. Like,
yeah.
Like how much equipment are people actually bringing when they're doing their performances?
It depends on the bands. A lot of drummers like to use their own personal drum sets. We don't rent like keyboard amps or anything like that. So if there's like, because we have monitors. Why?
Well, yeah, you just run it right in. Like, yeah.
But a lot of keyboardists will be like, well, I need to have my amp and the monitor, so I'm just surrounded by the sound of me. So sometimes they'll bring their own keyboard amp, like Dom. Dom is notorious for bringing his own keyboard amp. And so then the main problem with this year and everybody's equipment and the shenanigans that happened is because of the astronomer thing, we lost the Potomac Ballroom at midnight on Saturday. Like, as soon as Machine Supremacy was done playing and we got everybody out, teardown started immediately.
Damn.
Ugh.
And we lost that room at like 4 a.m. So like all the gear from like shed space, jam space, stage 2, and main stage all had to go to a completely different storage part of the hotel.
Jesus Christ.
And it was an entire clusterfuck, and yeah.
That's ridiculous. That's absurd.
Yeah, there's no stars
That's
in that
MAGFest,
room. What do they
man.
need it for?
That's MAGFest.
Yeah.
So
See, and I knew that there was a little bit of that going on, but I just didn't know to what kind of extent, because I've had to do, I mean, like I've been gigging out musically since I was like 12. So, I mean, like,
Yeah.
I've been having to deal with this kind of stuff for years and years and years and years and years. So, once I saw, like, even just, like, going there for the first time this year and seeing Jam Space and seeing Shed Space and seeing the second stage and the production and the stage, like, the lighting, the sound, everything that goes into every single one of these stages, they're not fucking around.
No.
Like, this is serious equipment. There's a lot of shit. There's a lot of work that goes into it. And like knowing that you guys had to do that much of a teardown in that little amount of time, like I don't even know how you guys got it done. Like that's kind of crazy.
Well, pretty much what happened is stage 2 ended at 6 o'clock. The stage 2 team started teardown, or started like, because we rent like the back, not the back line, but like the front of house and
Okay.
the lights stuff from a company. So when stage 2, when Rare Candy got done, all the stage 2 staff and a couple of volunteers all moved all of like the backline equipment and everything else off the stage, out of the room entirely, done. And then our rental agency started tearing down stage 2.
Oh, okay.
Jam Space ended at about 6:40, 6:45, 15 minutes before main concert started. So while the first band, On Being Human, was playing on main stage, the Jam Space crew was tearing down all the Jam Space stuff, except for like the front of house and lights and shit.
Yeah.
And then while main concerts went through the night, our production company all went through, cleared out stage 2, cleared out Jam Space. That way, once Machine Supremacy was done,
You had
all they
everybody.
left-
Yeah, I got you.
all they had left was that stuff. And then I made like my 35-person security team take all of the rental gear and stuff like that we like backline equipment from the main stage to the secured location for storage. And that way we were completely out of the rental company's way then.
It
I
still
gotcha.
blows my mind to hear you say my 35-person security team.
When you
Dude, do you
see the
remember
size of those
MAGFest?
rooms, like, you have
Do you
to.
remember MAGFest 5 when it was like me, Maddie, Sketch, and Phil, and that was it?
Yeah. I remember the earlier, even before that, when I would help out with security, just holding people back. Like, I wasn't official. I didn't do, like, I didn't get anything for doing it. I just kept people off the stage. Like, first years, there weren't 35 MAGFest employees total, and now there's 35 security people under your command.
Yep.
Just thinking about that shit blows my mind.
See, but you know what, though? Like, me... Like I said, because this was my first go-to and I saw how everything's set up, like, I would be surprised if they didn't have 35.
Yeah.
Mainly just because, like I completely understand. Like, I'm more on Matt's approach, like, of taking into consideration, like, you know, from a musician's perspective and a bouncer's perspective, like, you know, what all really is needed and is necessary for something to run smooth.
Yeah.
And it's absolutely necessary.
They practically needed 35 people to hold Kyle back from rushing the stage for Machine Supremacy.
So something like that, yeah.
much.
Yeah, he was, man, that man was hard for that band.
Hard is an understatement.
Yeah, Diamond.
He was blade mode.
Yeah. So
For next year, I need to find about 15 more security people.
I'll help.
Damn.
I won't be able to help, but I'll help.
For the plans and schemes for next year.
In all seriousness, I do have a bouncing background. I'm a decently big guy. I wouldn't mind helping out.
Punch him in the shoulder. He'll go right down.
Yeah. As of right now, yeah, because of my fucking, yeah.
So speaking of
Find
plans,
me on Facebook later and we'll talk.
Yeah, definitely.
speaking of plans and schemes for next year, is
It's canceled.
Oh, yeah.
It's
any kind
canceled.
of
He already
secret
told us.
announcements that you could maybe trickle out early? Anything fun happening?
Define fun.
Something that nobody...
You have to remember, I don't find MAGFest fun anymore.
Anything at this point would be fun for us.
He already told us next year's canceled.
Oh, yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
But,
There you go. That's the fun part.
Secret's
It's canceled.
out. Confirm.
here.
Rock Band 4 confirmed.
Fun about next year.
Any kind of big band names already signed on?
Nope. Unlike last year, I do not have any bands confirmed so far for next year.
Is there anyone big you're talking with?
Chris Huber.
That guy's a dick.
Who the fuck is Chris Hubert?
Hubert. Christopher Hubert. That should be your alternate identity.
No.
Dude, I haven't honestly started talking with bands yet because last year we were in a really weird position
Was it
where
Doggy?
we knew what our money situation was already before MAGFest 11 even happened,
Oh, wow.
which allowed me to start talking to bands early, and that's how I had Machine Supremacy confirmed a year in advance. This year there wasn't quite as much growth as we were expecting. There were a couple of bigger expenses that happened throughout the year. So I'm still waiting to hear what the budget's going to be before I can start actually looking at big bands and things like that.
No.
I will say I did enjoy getting both Mega Driver and Machine Supremacy because both of those bands' total cost combined is cheaper than one band from Japan.
Wow.
Dude, Machine A, when Joe told me that Machine A was playing, that was one of the driving things that ended up making me wanting to go, because I used to listen to them all the time in high school. So that's why I was like, holy fuck, man. Like, this is definitely like a thing that I got to check out. So, like, that was a big fucking deal for me.
Thank you.
Good job, Matt.
I'm sure it won't affect your. You didn't have as much growth as you expected, but I imagine you probably won't have less money in your budget than you had the previous year.
My budget rarely ever goes down once it gets an increase. The problem is that for like my plans, my schemes, and things like that, because I take more into consideration than just who I'm going to book, but it's more also how are the bands getting treated? Are they getting paid fairly? Is everybody getting accommodations? Things like that. So I'd like if my budget could increase so I could, like, say, give all the stage 2 bands a hotel room. I'd really like that.
Yeah.
Give them all tan-colored M&Ms.
God. All green M&Ms.
Yeah.
All the time.
All green.
No.
Actually, green would be easy now because the mint M&Ms are all green.
Aren't they like green and white or something?
No, they're all green.
They're all green? Wow.
All green.
Well, I can't remember the last time I had an M&M, so that's...
Well, I said the mint kind.
Right. So is it like a thin mint kind of thing?
Yeah, kind of.
That sounds actually kind of awesome.
Yeah, somewhat pleasant.
It actually really is. Like, they sell like the big bags of them at grocery stores. At least they do down here where I live. So.
Plus, there's candy shops that just deal with single color M&Ms that you could just make your own mix.
Yeah,
That's cheating.
That's not cheating.
No, you have to sort them. That's part of the fun.
How do they know? Like, by the time you actually put all the spread out for that kind of stuff, like, you're long gone before like any of the actual talent comes into the room.
The energy, the aura of the effort radiating off of the M&Ms that matters.
I didn't know it had
bands
absorbed
feed
that.
off of it. That's how they get their musical power.
The SML podcast.
God, no.
I will say that there is one potential thing. Nothing is confirmed or in line or anything like that, but one thing that the music department is currently toying with is the idea of rotating stage.
That would be cool.
So it's
like the stage actually rotates?
No. Like,
no.
if you take something like one of the setups, like a Warped Tour or a Mayhem Fest, where essentially like you've got two main stages, and essentially when one band is playing, the other one is setting up, so you've constantly got bands going on.
Okay,
that's actually a pretty good idea.
Yeah.
Is BitGen still doing it like that? I know the last one I went to.
No, BitGen moved to a venue that only has one stage, Rams Head Live, and that is pretty much just one stage. So they're back down to like 10 bands instead of like the 14, 16 they were doing.
Yeah, because the last BitGen I went to was when they had the two stages going on. I thought that was awesome.
Rotating stages, all the ones that I've been a part of, I've had fun with. Like as a musician, like because it's one of those things where it's like, from a musician standpoint, you don't get to see a lot of other bands play because you're busy doing your shit. So at least you get to see like another band or maybe two like full performance while you're doing your shit, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. So it's like, so what that'll be is like instead of like what we've been doing since like 10, where like at noon there'll be chip tunes on main stage, and then like 11 to 6 o'clock there's the stage 2 bands, and then 7 to midnight there's the main stage bands, and then midnight to 2 there's whatever stupid after party we've come up with that year. Instead what it'll be is like concerts start at noon on like stage 2, and then 10 minutes after that's done, there's a band on stage 1, then back and forth and back and forth. And then taking into consideration like fan feedback that we've gotten, like from 6 o'clock to 7:30, there will be no concerts. That way everybody has time to like go get dinner.
Yeah.
Like that. And then at 7:30, concerts start back up. Go till midnight from to like 2:30 in the morning, prom again, or another DJ thing, or who knows what.
Is prom something that you guys are going to look into again? Because I thought that was a really cool idea.
Yeah, prom was like the problem with the music department is it's really hard to think up of new things to do that isn't just more music.
Yeah.
And so Karen and I were talking one day. We're like, what the fuck are we going to do? We need a new thing. It was like Love Cannon, the bluegrass band, applied. And Dale North pitched an idea for him starting a new band, which completely fizzled out because he couldn't send me any information or any recordings or anything like that. So I ended up not booking him. And what happened is we took those and we were like, we can do a prom. And I was like, I don't know how I feel about that, Karen. And she's like, Matt, just think about how socially awkward this is going to be. Like, okay. She was like, hey, Matt, who are you going to take to prom? I was like, that's perfect. Let's do it.
I thought it was a really cool idea. Plus the fact that having the prom got the one-ups there. And you know me, if you get the one-ups there, I'm that much happier.
Yeah, I mean, well, pretty much what happened is initially, and like this has happened every year since like MAGFest 10, we'll send out like performance agreements and things like that to like certain bands, and then there's always one that ends up not working out. And so then another band that, you know, I'm friends with or that I've worked with for years suddenly gets added back on.
Nice.
And that's what happened with the one-ups this year.
Which I'm very happy about. Thank you for getting them in.
The one-ups initially were not going to be on at MAGFest this year. Like I had sent them like their rejection letter and everything already.
Oh,
that's some serious business.
And then something didn't work out, and so I was like, "Hey," I literally called up William, and I was like, "Hey, man, so I know I sent you a rejection and everything, but do you want to play
JK, LOL.
It's always weird when that happens because, like, fortunately, at like 10 when it happened, there was one band, the band that ended up replacing one of the bands I hadn't sent a rejection letter to yet. So that made me happy.
Yeah.
And then the same thing happened last year. And then this year, it's like I sent out all the rejection letters got sent out. And it was like a month and a half later when things didn't work out. So I was like, well, all right, fuck it.
Yeah, the sting has already gone away. So they could just fucking go for it now.
Well,
Plus, I mean, like the one-ups especially understand where I'm coming from because I was on tour with them 2 summers ago, I think, which is right in the middle of freaking all the MAGFest booking crazy shit. So they've gotten a very up close and personal experience to all the crap that I have to fucking deal with.
Yeah, that was the last BitGen I went to as well, because that's where their final show on the tour was.
Yep, convenient that the last one the one-ups went to is the last BitGen you went to, Joe.
Yeah, go figure.
Go figure.
I wonder if I'll be going to BitGen this year. Are the one-ups playing?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
That's my decision maker.
I have been talking some things out with William, and I did tell him that he should apply to BitGen.
Nice.
But that's for summer fun time shenanigans.
Yeah. Well, this is my official request to get the one-ups back at the prom next year, and the Dan Band.
The what?
The Dan
Band.
I'm not booking the motherfucking Dan Band.
How about Richard Cheese?
So far,
Cheese.
Really, you don't know who Richard Cheese is?
You kids with your pop culture,
dude.
Oh man.
You totally have to see what Richard Cheese is.
So far, the
Lounge Against the Machine.
When we get off the phone call, I'll look into it. I promise.
Did you see the new, what was it, Dawn of the Dead remake that they made?
Newer. That was
was this fucking like Frank Sinatra covers like
the lounge music?
Yes.
Yeah.
Get up,
oh,
come
God,
on, get down with the sickness, your mother, get up.
All right, Joe, you have been around for a long time with MAGFest and things like that.
A little. You could say that.
He's only gone to a few.
You remember how poorly the nerd comedy shit works out.
What about my love life?
But Love Cannon was kind of in that vein.
Love Cannon was kind of in that vein, but like they're an 80s cover band. It's not dude fucking crooning at people. Well,
But
singing-
Richard Cheese is a cover band.
I thought it was just a dude.
No, it's
No,
Richard
it's a
Cheese
full
and
band.
Lounge Against the
Oh,
Machine.
see,
it's a
I thought he
full-on
was
band.
like Smooth McGroove or some.
Oh no,
Oh,
no,
no,
no, no,
no,
no,
no.
no, no.
So far, the BitGen lineup is some band called Coming Soon. I've never heard of it.
I like them. I heard of them. I have their first album.
I do that sometimes.
I thought their first album's out. I thought it was out.
I thought it was coming soon. I thought it wasn't out yet.
I don't know who all's playing BitGen yet or anything like that. I know that we have the music meeting or the big music department meeting in a couple of weeks, like at the end of this month, which will be when we talk BitGen things and next year MAGFest crap and the Game Over shows for the year and blah blah.
Yeah, I'm hoping to make the Game Over Baltimore show.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome. Me and Darmok, my little music department apprentice, have been doing, like, we did 2 Game Over Baltimores this past year, and she was like, I want to do another one next year, and the Baltimore shows always do really great. So I was just like, all right, cool, but you have to change the lineup. For the love of God, change the lineup. Because, well, I love everything that we've done. It's always been like, you can always count on Rare Candy, you can always count on Random Battles, and a couple of the other Baltimore, like, commons. And I was like, look, there are so many bands in that area. It's like, we need to mix it up. And now, like, it's, if I remember correctly, this Game Over Baltimore is Rare Candy, Overclocked University, Triforce Quartet, X Hunters, and I believe her new band, Steel Samurai or something like that.
Yeah, I'm going to be going to see Overclock University, and I think I'll be crashing with Steve-O that night too.
Nice.
It's good having friends.
Yeah, I was told that I should probably be doing the same, so I'm gonna attempt to. I have to see what my funds are like. So
I'm going to be on tour, and I'll be somewhere far away from the East Coast.
Oh, so I can't hug you.
You cannot hug me.
Oh,
I'm
son
sorry.
of a
you have to wait until next MAGFest
or BitGen.
Oh, no, you'll
Yeah.
probably see me before next MAGFest.
or
I
bitch.
hope so.
He's outside right now.
He drove up. He's been on his cell phone the whole time.
Looking in your window. But yeah, I don't know what other bands would be awesome to get there.
So here's a stupid question, because as soon as I like went and saw a bunch of bands play, I got this crazy idea that I was thinking about applying for and getting some musicians together, or some musicians of people that are already going to be down there anyway. What is the stance on cover material? Like,
What do you mean by cover material?
like songs that were in soundtracks of games.
Oh, you mean like video game cover bands? Like the majority of what happens
Yeah.
at MAGFest?
No, I mean like not
just give them your idea.
okay. So
I was gonna say,
a punk band where all of the songs are nothing but songs that were either on the Tony Hawk soundtracks, Crazy Taxi,
Jesus
or
Christ.
Top Skater.
Suck my dick.
No, this is a
It was
brilliant
gonna- hold on.
idea. This
And-
is a brilliant
And
idea.
then the name of the band was going to be Tony Rock and the Top Skating Taxis.
God damn it. Technically, it would count because it's music from video games.
Sweet.
And therefore, your application would be valid.
However,
Will Karen and I book that?
no.
Probably not. But you would technically fall under the rules and regulations for being considered.
So, what is the application process?
Oh, Jesus Christ. For main stage, stage 2, chip tunes, or DJs?
Stage 2. It's definitely not a stage 1 production.
No. It might be a prom thing.
Stage
No.
2 is actually some of the applications that we review the hardest because it's honestly where a lot of all the new people have come into play.
Well, and that's why I figured that would be the appropriate one to apply to.
What if we were to present to you a band that is perfect, exactly what you're looking for, and then bait and switch? We get on stage and it's a ska band.
No. Well, there would be ska music in Tony Rock. I'm just like,
Well, I could tell you what would happen is I would pull your badges.
yep, and you would get beat up.
I would get my hotel liaison on the horn and have your room canceled. And then you guys can have fun paying door prices for MAGFest and or driving home.
True story.
Yeah, no, I have no
What if
musical
the band
talent,
was
so-
still good?
The likelihood
if it
of
was-
that actually
Yeah,
happening.
what if the room started hopping?
If it was, I don't care about people. But pretty much what would happen is I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't like stop your show or anything like that because
I would.
Get the
That's not-
fuck off stage.
I fucking would. I wouldn't even hesitate.
now that is under the purview of everybody is enjoying it. If you're making everybody run from the room, I'm going to tell the sound guy to cut your
Yeah.
to kill it now. But anyways, stage 2. All the applications require the same 6 pieces of information. There's primary contact info, audio recordings of your work, videos of you performing live, past shows that you've played, how many members and where do they all reside, and links to all your like social media like Facebook, Twitter, SoundCloud, blah blah blah.
That's pretty.
blah.
That's a
pretty
standard affair. Yeah.
Now, what
Yeah,
about...
it's all very standard stuff.
Yeah.
Now the problem is, and the fun part for me is because is the videos of people performing live.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask about. Like stuff like Overclock University or Lonely Rolling Stars, where no one lives near each other, or they might not even
Right.
have any shows under their belt. How do you handle a video submission for that?
Well, there are a number of ways. Some bands have sent me videos of them playing live.
Like in other projects.
Yeah, well, no, like a couple of them get together and actively record. Like for not this past year, but last year, for example, Night of the Round had never played a show together live at all. They all live near each other. They just can't fucking get booked anywhere where they live.
Right.
So what they did is they threw a fucking concert in their garage.
Yep.
Yeah, that works.
And they filmed it and like got the crowd reaction and everything like
It's their
that. And they
mom.
sent it to me. And I was like, this is exactly what I was looking for. Thank you very much.
So it
It's
doesn't have
most-
to be like a huge production. It just needs to be a solid
It's
video
got to be
of the band
legit.
performing.
Like, yeah.
It could be a fucking iPhone video camera for one
Those are pretty
chiptune
good,
act. One chiptune act this year sent me a Vine.
A Vine.
Did they get in?
No, God no.
Was it A Rival? Because A Rival loves his vines.
Dude, he has some
I
of the funniest
literally
vibes.
messaged one of my chiptune people. It's like a Vine. One of your fucking people actually sent me a Vine. they're just like, nerds are silly. I was like, fuck you, dude.
But for Lonely Rolling Stars, was there their Lonely R.bat live video? Was that kind of their submission?
That was their submission. Same with the Viking Guitars Golden X.
Nice.
Yeah, I was just about to ask about that too, because like that was one of the like pretty much those two bands were the main ones that I was interested in seeing, other than Machine A and some other like randoms,
A Rival.
The one-ups.
But no, like Viking Guitar, like because metal's kind of more of my forte. So Viking Guitar was right up my alley, and then the Lonely Rolling Stars, like, you know, Grant did a thing on my CD that I ended up putting together, and Ale Sean and Norg and them. So like obviously I was interested in seeing the Lonely Rolling Stars.
Right.
So I mean, like those
I
two were the only ones I was
think
familiar with.
about you and 80% of MAGFest were interested in seeing Lonely Rolling Stars.
Right, and
I
that's
get
the
it.
thing. I mean, like there's got to be like some. I mean, like even if they couldn't necessarily put something like that together, it's like you look at all the stuff that they've done in the past. You look at their credibility and you know, and what kind of pull they actually have within the community, and like everybody would go and see that, and you know that. So I mean, like it's one of those kind of things where it's like it's kind of like a, you know, you don't even really have to think about it. You can just kind of just do it. Like,
Yeah.
See, that's the problem. That unto itself would be something that both Karen and I view as favoritism. We hold everybody to the same standards as everyone else.
Yeah.
So if you cannot send in all 6 pieces of information, we will not consider your application.
okay, no, I understand that.
Which is why those videos existed.
Makes sense.
That's the way to get around it. Yeah. I mean, because that's the only way that I would be able to think about doing it. Yeah. Unless, because like monetarily, it wouldn't make sense to like, all right, let's fly everybody to somebody's house so we could do a show and have somebody record it with their phone. Like, all right, cool. Now we're ready for MAGFest.
You would spend all that money flying everyone together and then record it with a phone.
Well, that's all
hey man, that's all it's yeah. You spent the budget on getting everybody in one location.
But no, like,
oh shit.
I mean, I hate that it's that way now because, like, a lot of these musicians, especially in like Lonely Rolling Stars and Viking Guitar, I know everybody in those bands personally. I know what all they're capable of, and everything like that. But it's simply a matter of keeping things fair.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Fair and balanced,
like,
the Fox.
Why should like the band's full of people that I've known for a while just automatically not have to follow the same rules as this band that I've never even fucking heard of before?
It's true.
You know?
No, I got you.
Are there any bands that you would like to see come back to MAGFest who haven't been there in a while?
Yes and no. There's always some. Like, what do you mean by a while?
Like that haven't been there recently, like this year.
Or 2 years.
Yeah, there's a couple. I mean, I love the guys in Power Glove.
Oh, yeah, Power Glove. Fuck.
Just sometimes things, like, don't work out, or, you know, the whole mixing it up thing. Like, some bands just can't get invited every year. Some bands, somehow, magically, by the voting system, do get to come back. Things like that. It's like, see, I'd like to get Power Glove back. I'd like to get The Advantage back.
So does that mean they'd have an advantage over the other applicants?
No.
we just spent the last 20 minutes. God damn it.
Yeah. See, the thing is not all the decisions for who gets booked isn't solely just me. There's for stage 2, there's me and 2 other staffers who do all the selections, and a band has to have a majority vote, 2/3. If it's a band that one of us is in, that person doesn't get a vote, so the other 2 people have to agree unanimously if that band gets to play or not. And it's the same way with with main stage. It's the same way with chiptune, and DJs I typically just let do whatever the hell they want.
That's called democracy, kids.
Yeah,
that's
teamwork.
Democracies.
Like, I guess I've just gotten really lucky that, like, so far every band that I've been in that. Well, no, that's not true. Lords of Thunder got declined this past year. Never mind.
Never mind.
Yeah, you weren't good enough to get in.
Lord of Thunder. So here's a question from, essentially from I don't want to say an outsider's perspective, since I've gone for 1 year, but I've only gone 1 year, so I don't have enough.
You're an insider now. This
sort
question
of
is invalid.
Is there do you feel like there's a certain genre that just resonates more at MAGFest than others? Because I was actually really surprised to see, like, because, like, I'm mostly a metalhead, like, I got to see a lot of really good metal bands, like.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. I have a very long version of this answer I can give you.
We do like it long here.
But I'll give you
I got him. Took me a while, but I got him.
But I'll give you the quick answers. The 2 most popular things that will always be probably the most popular thing at MAGFest will be people who play straight covers or people who do nothing but metal.
So
those are always
pretty much
metal.
Those are always the 2 that win everybody over.
So
pretty much bands like the Mini Bosses or bands like Power Glove.
So the CD that I put together for MAGFest this past year, like that. So just keep doing that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'll just keep.
Did you hear the CD, Matt?
That is what goes over the most at MAGFest. However, you have to remember that those are also the 2 things that pretty much almost everybody
does.
75% of the scene does. So your
Yeah.
competition is stupid retarded there.
Yeah.
So would you say that you typically would be happier to see a different variety come in the applications?
That's been the thing that me and Karen have been trying to do for the longest time, because there was a lot of years where it was just like all the same stuff. Like it was very hard to tell the difference between a lot of the bands, except for, there were different fucking people up on the stage.
Yeah, no, for me,
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
that's how I feel about like anytime I start listening to a new band or a different genre that I'm not used to, especially like the video game music. It all blurs together for me. I'm like
me, like as the music director, I like seeing a wide array of different things represented. A lot of people seem to hate that and hate that I'm doing
people
that.
hate change.
Mm-hmm.
Joe,
especially MAGFest people. But let's see. I remember when we stopped booking the mini bosses as much. It's like that was like the greatest sin one could ever create.
oh yeah,
ever.
how could you ever do that?
And well, that's the thing. And now, like, it's not even something that gets brought up anymore. Now, instead, it's you didn't book blah thing. What the hell's wrong with you? It's like, hey, remember when you said people were saying that about the mini bosses and how MAGFest is going to die if we didn't book the fuck you.
The funny thing is I never had a problem with not booking the mini bosses because as awesome as they are live, they really haven't added much to their set over the years.
I don't know. I mean, they've added like 8 different ways to play Excite Bike.
Wow.
But I mean, like the Smash
6 different
Brothers.
ways to play DuckTales.
Yeah. But like the Smash Brothers had a new set every year.
I know.
Which I thought was awesome.
So does This Place Is Haunted.
Yeah.
Every year, like This Place Is Haunted will play maybe 2 songs. They usually would do Castlevania and Double Dragon. And everything else in their set would be entirely different from what they did the year previous.
Yeah, and that's what I like.
That's honestly one of the reasons why I love This Place Is Haunted.
Now,
They were also the first band I ever became friends with.
with some of the application stuff, do you have to see and approve their set list?
No, I never ask a band to see their set list until about a month before MAGFest, so I can give that shit to our lighting directors and things like that.
Oh, thank God you guys have lighting. That the stage setup was really good. Did you have a hand in that?
The stage setup?
Yeah.
Like
the lighting cage that was built on the stage with the projection in the middle.
Yeah, I'm the guy who rented that.
Yeah, thank you for that. I had to shoot a Japanese band at Katsucon last year on that stage. They had no lighting person, and it was just the stage.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah, and so here I am. I took 4,000 photos. It took me like 3 months to process them all, and because most of it was just massive amounts of post work to make the photos not look like shit. Because there's just the lighting was bad, and when I saw the main stage this year, I was like, oh, thank God, you guys did something really good.
So wait, so here's a stupid question for the bands that are like doing the straight like video game covers. I noticed like a lot of the bands will have like, some gameplay footage of the game while they're playing. Do you guys set that up or do they bring it?
Any band has to bring their own visuals.
Okay.
If it's something on a screen or something like that.
Because I was like, man, there's a lot of people doing that. They're like, did they just like ask for a set list and do that, or like what's going on?
Oh
with
God,
that?
no! Why would I give myself more work?
So I was like, well, that was the thing. I was like, holy shit, if they do that too, like that's a lot of fucking work. Like,
I'm still laughing my ass off at the fact that
the one-ups have their own video guy. Those who fight in Super Guitar Brothers use the same guy. Things like that.
I was still laughing at the fact that Lonely Rolling Stars put my face in their video.
yeah,
Did they?
yeah, they did.
Like, what the
And I love that you thought that it was Sean that did it, but it was actually Nord.
Yeah.
That's
I
funny.
didn't expect Norg to do that. That's
didn't
something
either.
I would expect Sean to do.
That's how beloved you are in that community, Joe.
What was it, MAGFest 7 or 8? My name was in the fucking program. Like, they had it was Final Fantasy themed, and they had, like, attack, item, Joe Cam, run, like the one menu box.
Yeah, that was 7.
That was fun.
That's funny.
I used to be somebody at MAGFest when there were only when there were only 3,000 people going, and now there's 12,000 and no one knows who the fuck I am.
I thought there was a lot more this year.
Nope, 12,272. Not factoring in staffers or volunteers and shit like that. Just normal ass attendees.
That's still insane.
That's a lot of fucking people, man. That's awesome, though.
And what, 2 people got the wizard tier?
Wasn't Jesus? Jesus got
Jesus
one.
was one of the wizard supporter tiers.
How much did that thing run?
500.
If it's not the music department, I honestly have no fucking idea.
It
Did
was
he get
funny,
like a
though,
wizard's
that
hat or like a giant dildo or something?
He got a wizard hat, a staff, a robe, a shield, a tiara, like all this dumb. it was fucking awesome.
So, actually, I don't know if we if you want me to talk about it now or not, but I didn't get to unleash my MAGFest experience on the podcast yet.
It's because you weren't here.
Yeah, no, I said that I wasn't here last week.
Yeah, we know.
I don't know if
Where?
I don't know if
We have a guest on this week.
I know, but
This
he
can't
might,
be the Tim show.
he might be interested in stories. Well, no, I keep thinking of the stories, and I'm like, I want to say it, but I won't.
Ask Matt's permission.
Go for it. I don't give a shit.
So the most fun I had at MAGFest this time, my first MAGFest, was hanging out with the Charles Barkley Shut Up and Jam guy.
Oh my God, that was so fucking fantastic.
With the Charles Barkley what?
Charles Barkley Shut Up and Jam Gaiden. It's a game by a development team called Tales of Games. I met these guys at PAX Prime. I actually was sitting on the plane across the country next to one of the lead developers and a guy named Liam. And, we became friends. We hung out there in Seattle. And then I bumped into him at the hotel and here, like right when I got there. And I was like, oh my God, awesome. Like, so we started hanging out and we're in the Lumberjack Lounge. And some old drunk guy walks. I don't even know who this guy was.
Old Man Yeager.
Okay. So very drunk, comes over to us, and we're Liam and I were talking about Kickstarter because my company is about to do a Kickstarter. His just had a really successful one. They asked for $35,000. They got $130,000.
Wow.
Yeah,
Jeez,
a shit ton of money. So we're talking about Kickstarter, and this guy comes over and starts talking to us. He's like, oh, you guys. He's like, I heard a Kickstarter. What are you guys doing with it? And it's like, oh, I'm a developer and, we're doing a thing. And he's like, oh yeah, well, what's the thing? What are you doing? And Liam and I look at each other and we're like, who is this guy? And he's like, you should promote it on the Reddit. And I look back at
the Reddit.
I look over at Liam again and I'm like, and I look back at the guy, I go, what's Reddit? And he's like, you don't know what Reddit is? I'm like, no, wait, what is it? What is the Reddit? And he's like, it's this thing. He's like, you should oh God, it's you go there and people like they do things. And he's like, you just Google it. It'll come up on Google's. And
on Google's. How old was this guy, just for reference?
He's probably 50s or 60s.
I looked at him, I'm like, how do you spell it? Is it REDDID? Reddit? Reddit.net? Or is it .gov? Like, what is it? And
you shouldn't fuck with the elderly.
So he's like, all right, well, don't worry. He's like, just look it up. He's like, but what's this project? He's like, there's a lot of money in the Kickstarters, and
why is everything plural with him?
And Liam, he was drunk. I don't know. Liam looks over at him and goes, well, yeah, see, my company's working on a project called Dominoes Across America. 65 million dominoes, starting from Florida and going all the way up to Vancouver. And he's like, we got it. It was at 250 million dominoes, but we've scaled it down significantly. And we think that we can have it go across. And then I look at the guy, like, him and I were on such a wavelength. I look over at the old man and I'm like, now I know what you're thinking. What happens when it hits like Kansas, like the Tornado Alley? What happens if we hit the worst case scenario? A tornado hits, picks up all the dominoes, and we have a Dominado on our hands. Like, the dominoes are flying everywhere, killing people. It's a horrible, horrible experience. Liam's like, yeah, we plan on building tunnels. We're going to tunnel underneath sections of it, and we're going to have people set up to watch and make sure that if anything happens to it, they can close off the tunnels so that the dominoes are safe.
I think I hate you more for this story.
And we just ran with it to the point where the guy got frustrated and left.
I would have fucking left about like 3 sentences in.
So, to top it all off, Liam was on a panel, like a Kickstarter pitch panel, where he was talking about Barkley. He's talking about Barkley 2, the thing they just kickstarted. He's on stage, he has slides. He's like, I'm from Tales of Games. We've made all of these games. We did Charles Barkley Shut Up and Jam. We're now doing Barkley 2. And he's showing like screenshots off. And he goes, but forget all that. That's not what I'm here to talk to you about. What I'm here to talk to you about is Dominoes Across America. And there's a video of him giving the story on stage.
I'm gonna have to try and YouTube that.
I linked it on Facebook. It's on my Facebook.
Oh God.
Absolutely astounding. Like the man is one of the funniest dudes in the world. So we hung out later that night, and like for the rest of the night, and we're playing Johann Sebastian Joust.
I love that fucking game.
Yeah, we talked about that a lot last week.
Did you? Yeah, that it is.
Well, if you listen to our show.
Yeah, then you would know.
I don't have 4 hours of my life to spend on it.
No, that was in the first 20 minutes.
Okay. But
the next 20 minutes.
Matt, I'm sure.
The next 20 minutes.
Matt, I'm sure you know what Johann Sebastian Joust is, right?
Nope.
Nope.
All right, so
Thank you, Matt.
Doesn't have to do with music. I don't give a fuck.
well, kind of. So what this is
it's so vaguely like related to music, like not like in the least bit.
So what this is a game. You use the PlayStation Move controllers, and you hold them in a vertical position so that they have a zeroed out point in their sensitivity. If you tip the controller at all, it registers that you've basically, it's like you're holding a cup of water. And if you tip the cup, the water spills out. So there's about 12 people in a circle of each other. Now in MAGFest, there's about 100 people in this massive circle, only 12 controllers. You would stand in the middle of the circle, music would play. The faster the music would go, the quicker you're allowed to move, and the less sensitivity the controller had. The slower the music played, the more sensitive it got. So if you tipped it even a little bit, you would lose. So what you have to do is you have to try to walk around and knock the controllers out of other people's hands without spilling at yours. It was a fucking blast.
It was fun. It was definitely one of the more fun things that I did at MAGFest.
And it was so funny when I brought you down because you're like, what?
I'm like,
is
what the
this?
fuck is, like, I just see this gigantic crowd of people and I'm like, what the fuck is going on over here? And then I just see like these Move controllers coming out of nowhere, and I'm like,
yeah, and I got one of them and handed it to him, and I go, get in there.
yeah, he's like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, like.
Oh
but
my
was
god,
fun. It was good.
I had a shining moment in this where it got down to me and 2 other people out of the 12, and at that point, when there's 3 people left, and you're in this
Dropped to his knees and blew them both.
There's a massive circle, so there's a lot of area for people to stay the fuck away from you. And I looked at this one kid, the whole game, he was just staying away from everybody so that he could be the last guy and just have to worry about one person rather than, 11 others. And I look over at him, I'm like, oh, you want to do this? And he's like, no. I'm like, you want to do this? So I look around at the crowd and I go, let's bring it in. And everybody starts clapping, going, joust, joust, joust. And the circle starts to close on us. So it's like this 6-foot diameter, 6-foot radius, whatever math, I don't know, 6-foot wide circle, and all 3 of us are now trapped in it within arm's reach of each other. And I slapped the controllers out of their hands and won. And I just kind of like had this WWE moment where I kind of just like looked off into the distance while everybody cheered. And I didn't care. I was like, I've won. I'm free. It was amazing, though. The game is so fun. It was like the most fun I've had playing a game at a convention in my life.
It was a good time.
Cool story, bro.
Yeah, thanks, Joe.
So back to Matt.
Yeah.
Those were my experiences. I wanted to get them out of the way before too much time had passed from MAGFest. But, hi, Matt.
There's
Hey,
never
what's up?
too much
Matt,
time for MAGFest.
No, actually,
We've been talking about MAGFest for months.
We can bring him into this. Matt, what is your
Yep.
favorite MAGFest experience? Doesn't have to be this
What?
year. What's your favorite MAGFest experience out of all of the MAGFests that you've been to?
Meeting me.
Filleting Joe.
And now it's the Joe Show.
It's always the Joe Show.
It is.
It is.
I have a couple of favorites.
I didn't ask for a couple.
Listen.
Shut the fuck up,
I'm trying
Jim.
I'm trying to think of which one to tell you.
If
Tell
you
them all.
if you
Tell
want to
Tim to
tell
shut
if
the
you
fuck
want to
up.
tell a couple,
Tell them all.
Fuck him. Don't listen to him.
Yes, fuck. I mean, no. Tell us them all. Tell them all of us. Tell us all of them. I don't know words.
Tell all of us. Let's see here.
Tell the internet.
Let's see here.
Tell Zach.
MAGFest 3 had a really fun moment where me and one of my friends got really drunk, and we ran across some other really drunk people.
That never
And
happens at
the
MAGFest.
other really drunk people looked at my friend and was like, "Hey, dude, kick me." This is just in the fucking hallway. Like, we're going to the elevator to go to the game room. And my friend looks at me. I was like, dude said kick him. Now, what I wasn't expecting my really drunk friend to do is to kick the dude square in his kidneys.
Oh,
Both of them? Did he like bicycle kick him?
No, like he like just like straight like with his shin like flat across his back. Like just, and the dude's reaction, like he made like this crazy like pained face and like was completely rigid and then like collapsed onto his knees, but the rest of him didn't move. And then he just face planted. I was like, well, we just killed a dude. Let's go.
MAGFest, woo!
MAGFest, woo!
And he's
let's
dead.
See here. 5. My favorite memory from 5 it was the first year I was doing security. And this is the first year that I met Kirby and House from Temp Sound Solutions. They were
Fucking
probably like
House.
17, 18 at the time.
Oh my God, House.
I'm picturing now, mind you, I'm picturing Kirby, the game character, and House, Hugh Laurie.
Oh,
What? No, Kirby. I met Kirby. He's cool. He's a good guy.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've met.
I don't think you met House or a Shane. Oh my God, those guys.
yeah. Anyways,
Do go on.
so I walk into the concert hall after getting something to eat. It's about like an hour before concerts is supposed to start. And there's these 2 little punk kids clearly drinking booze. Like they've put like a fifth of like some fucking liquor into a cereal box. and are acting like they're drinking, like they're
Eating
shaking cereal under their mouth, but it's all just booze. And I can clearly see it.
That's amazing. That is absolutely
Like I said,
amazing. I'm going to do that.
Kirby and I hated each other for a little while, and now we're like best friends. So that makes me happy.
God, we could do like a 4-hour podcast just talking about the shizzies alone.
I don't want to be any part of that conversation.
Yeah, I know.
The shizzies.
Weekends where fucking a Shane would just show up. You would see him on Friday, and then you would see him check out on Sunday, still hungover. And that's it. He would just be passed out drunk in his room the entire
That's
weekend.
like a rival got to the convention, and then we parted ways. I bumped into him when he was checking in, and then all of a sudden I see a friggin' picture of him go up on Twitter. This was literally like 20 minutes after I saw him.
Oh yeah, because I brought you up to the room. You literally put your bag down, and then like checked your phone, and then you're like, "Oh, well, a rival's getting fucking wasted already."
Yeah, it's like this picture. Which, sorry, Matt, you can't see it at the moment, but this was like right when we checked in.
Yeah,
Already a picture of him goes up holding like 2
Nice.
bottles of alcohol, screaming like, "Woo,
MAGFest.
Also, and I said this on the last podcast, but holy fuck, I got to see him play Street Fighter.
Oh, dude, how ridiculous is
Oh my god, the kid is just disgusting.
he? No, like when we played Third Strike, I could not land a hit on him, and I'm good in our circles at Street Fighter, but when you enter like his level,
Dude,
you
it's
can't do anything.
It's no competition. He's a fucking beast.
It's like that guy we tried to fight down in the arcade room.
Oh
Remember
my
that?
god, he was big, fucking beastly. Actually, that guy came down because it was Sunday when they were about to close that whole room.
Oh, shit.
And that was when a rival came down, and me and him went over to the arcade machines, and we started like fucking around. This guy came over, and he was like, "Oh, I want to play him." I'm like, "Absolutely." And I fucking
Did they fight?
Yeah, dude, he fucking stomped him.
A rival?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
my boy.
Absolutely stomped him. Like,
Dude, he's so good. Like, there's a point in Street Fighter where you learn the moves to such an extent that you know this dude's jumping at me. He has 2 possibilities he can do. It's going to get to me in this amount of frames. I can do this to counter it perfectly. Like,
and he does it every fucking time.
And you watch his hands. He's not mashing at all. It's precise. It's, do, and it's not like where you and me would be like, it's like we're just trying to do the input 16 times in a second, and
you're like quarter circle, you're just spamming like quarter circle. You're like, I want to do this, and it's not
I just
working.
want one Shoryuken, please. I'll do the taps 28 times. I just want it to happen once. Whereas he's so precise. Like boom, boom,
boom, it's there.
And then he will take off half of your fucking health bar and then taunt you, and then you're like, I hate everything.
Dude, and that was the thing. He played with nothing but Corey. And like every single time he was just fucking those fucking basketballs, dude. Like
they're such great anti-air. You'll jump at him and he goes, nope.
he throws a basketball at you.
He would
and
kill
it
me
does
with it.
damage. Like it's like
it does like 1 HP.
Yeah,
and
like a speck of damage, but he fucking gets you every time. Like
and he's killed me with it multiple fucking times.
Oh my lord.
He's brutal.
I have videos of him playing out in Seattle against
We
top tier
got to
people.
have him on soon.
We really
Dude,
do.
he's so fucking funny too. He'd some of the shit he comes up with while we're working at Sword Tech is like the Sausage Man thing in our game, where it's a guy at a newsstand. We have just a sprite in our game of a guy standing at a newsstand on the side of the road.
There's clearly papers all over the stand.
It's clearly a newsstand. And you walk up to him and you talk to him. He goes, "Ayo, get your sausage here." And you're like, what the fuck? Like, it's not a food cart. It's a fucking newspaper stand. And you get into this really, like, he programmed this whole long-winded conversation with, like, dialogue trees about trying to buy sausage, and the detective asks him if it's gluten-free, and, like, all this really weird stuff. Like, I can't eat it because I'm on a diet that just started right now that I do every day of the year. Like, what?
Oh my lord.
Yeah, it's really, really funny stuff.
He's out of his mind.
He's a fucking riot.
He is. I'm actually really upset that I didn't get to see him perform. He was on main stage, wasn't he?
Yeah, it was on main. It was okay.
Do you think he'll be back next year, Matt?
I don't know.
I really would like to see him do his Super Square.
The Super Square thing, yeah.
Because, dude, now, Matt, I don't know if you know. Do you know what his Super Square band is?
Man, I can't fucking afford to freaking. I ain't Australia.
Well, I mean, you flew him and Helen in. It was just his brother, too. That's all. But, I mean, dude, did you see the picture from their Australia show recently?
Yes, I've seen their videos. I've seen their pictures.
Oh, my God. The amount of people they had hopping for that. Unbelievable.
It's Australia. There's not a lot happening there.
They're constantly running from the dangers of Australia.
Exactly.
Everything has a knife strapped to it, and the sun will fry you to death instantly.
Yep, that's Australia for you.
Man, I would love to
It's
see
like,
Wave.
oh man, there's a party. Let's do that before we die.
Yeah, which could be right after the party.
No, that is a good point. But he's looking for a tour manager, and they're really looking to like try and boost that act and really get it on the road.
So that's a thing.
That's a thing. Yeah, well, Matt, you said you did tour management. You'd book shows and stuff like that.
I do tour management.
Yeah,
You said doo-doo.
Maybe get a hold of. Maybe shoot him an email. Be like, hey, yo, Tim said that you might be looking for tour management stuff. That might be kind of cool.
Well, the thing is, he knows that I tour manage and everything too. And if he wanted me, he could have contacted me.
Yeah, but you know what? Sometimes you don't think of those. You don't think of everybody when you need to do it.
And
like,
God knows that if Matt wants to contact a rival, he should use Tim as the reference of why he's contact.
Yeah.
Well, hey, I don't know. I don't know your
think
connection.
Matt knows.
Yeah, but
a
I
rival
don't
a little
know.
bit.
I don't know your relationship with him. I work with him, so I talk to him all the fucking time. You know?
You work with him?
Yeah.
Like you live out in Seattle?
No. We he's the coder at the game development company I work for.
Oh.
So we're all scattered right now, but we're getting he built the prototype of our game at Sword Tech called Pixel Noir, coming soon.
That's weird. I thought he worked with George and Helen. That's the medical thing.
Yeah, I mean he's got other, like, all of us have different jobs as well, but that's one of our gigs is he's the lead programmer at our company for that.
Losers with your real jobs.
Right?
I'm back to being fun employed.
I'm still there.
I work 3 or 4 jobs, something fucking stupid.
Okay.
But yeah, no, he's our lead guy for programming. He does a fucking bang up job, and I talk to him all the time thanks to it. Like, it was just last night we had a meeting. Or was that last night? Night before that? Something, I don't know. I'm drunk.
Probably.
Probably.
I'm sick.
Yeah, me too.
So
I'm awesome.
You are. You know what,
You
Matt?
are awesome.
You are awesome.
Yeah.
I'm really glad that you were able to take the time out of your schedule so that you'd be able to sit down and talk to us.
Yeah, I'm sad I didn't get to meet you at the con, dude.
It's all good, man. Friggin' nobody actually gets to meet me at the con.
I saw you.
Well, somebody was going to
touched.
try to hook me up with you because I was worried about, I filmed a rival, and any of the film or photo work I was going to do, they're like, oh, well, yeah, if they give you shit, just go talk to Big Matt. I'm like, all right, I don't know who Big Matt is. All right. So.
Yeah, I ended up seeing a decent amount of you when I was at the merch table.
When I was in the
Yeah.
boys' shower.
So I think, Joe, I saw you like at check-in, and then I saw you Sunday or Monday at check-out.
Something like that. I wish I would have known you were still around Sunday evening. I would have had you just come up and chill with us.
Yeah, and you can hear me like bitch about the 50-yard fucking Tecmo Super Bowl field goal.
What the fucking 50-yard line?
Jesus kicked a fucking field goal in Tecmo Bowl from the 50, which means it was like a 60-some yard field goal. It was bullshit.
It was
Like,
so
Pappy
funny.
heard me yelling down the hall because I was so infuriated.
From the fucking 50?
Oh my God. Speaking of infuriated, I'll wait till after the podcast.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
I watched all of Sherlock.
I didn't see the last one yet, so
this
if you
is
say
not
any
turning
word of
into
it, I'm going to
the
fucking kill you.
Sherlock cast. But
The Sherlock cast.
But
So,
thank
Matt,
you for calling in, Matt.
Saw the last what?
The last episode of Sherlock.
Oh, whatever.
Yeah, well,
me and you, Matt. Me and you. So, where can people find you this summer?
Everywhere.
the gay bar.
Where are you going to be touring? What are you going to be doing?
This
What
is where
type of-
this is the air time that we give you to pimp out everything that you want to.
Yeah, remember that?
Oh,
Remember
cool.
that $500 you
Well,
paid us
let's
for
see.
advertising?
I haven't planned anything for the summer yet because I'm still focused on the winter and the spring. So that's out.
Okay, then the spring.
Or the winter.
Where's the
We're
tour
still
taking
in winter.
you? Yeah,
What are
true.
you doing that's
All right,
going to be cool
next
soon?
tour that I'm doing is February 20th through March 9th. It starts in New York, and goes through the Northeast down to the Southwest. We don't have all the dates lined up yet, so I can't really announce all that stuff.
And who is that?
But
Who is that with for the people that aren't paying
that
attention?
is with Danimal Cannon, Brunel Floss, and Mega Ram.
Oh,
Nice.
that's a pretty cool lineup.
Yeah, we got to hook up with Danimal soon, too.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Then there's Game Over Baltimore, which is some stupid day in March. March 1st.
Stupid day. That's a
Yeah,
stupid day.
Stupid
I thought you
day.
weren't going to be there.
I'm not, but you told me to pimp things.
Pimp
okay.
everything.
All right, pimp it all.
Pimp the world.
MAGFest will be doing the Jam Space at PAX East once again. I don't know what days frickin' PAX East are this year.
PAX East is
April
April
something?
13th through the 15th or something like that.
PAX moved to Sunday to the Tuesday?
No, it's the middle of April, so it's somewhere around
Yeah,
there.
whatever the first or second week of April is.
It's the second. It's the middle of
11th
April.
through the 13th?
11th through the 13th. All right,
That
that's
sounds
it then.
better.
I knew the
Okay.
13th. There was a 10th in there.
MAGFest will be doing a jam space there. We'll probably have a couple bands like we do every year.
Word.
If I can actually figure out, because I bought PAX tickets, if I can figure out how to actually afford to go, then I'll come and say hi if you're going to be there.
I'll be there.
Sweet.
I always am. Let's see here. That's all that I got right now. Confirmed that I can talk about.
Confirm for Brawl.
2014.
I want
2014.
Reggie and Brawl, God damn it.
Blade mode, 10 out of 10.
Blade Mode 10 out of 10.
Actually, I think that should be a new Save Continue segment is 10 out of 10 news.
Maybe. I don't know. I stopped doing anything for the website other than the podcast.
Yeah, I don't have time to right now.
Oh, thanks, Matt. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, since we end every episode on music, I know you were going to hook us up with some happy little music songs to play. So
Happy little music song.
what kind of music are we going to be playing from you?
Are you talking about the 2 songs I sent you before this started?
Yes, because I didn't check my Facebook yet, so I have no idea what the hell you said.
Oh, cool.
So you can introduce it.
I gave you 2 tracks. One is from my local band here in North Carolina called 8-Bit Disaster, which is a
That sounds
jazz
like a
funk fusion band. Kind of like the one.
That's kind of cool.
And then the other song is from my Final Fantasy rock opera project called Those Who Fight. It's our cover of the opera theme.
Nice. And what's the 8-Bit Disaster song?
It is a remake of Shadow's theme
Ooh,
from Final Fantasy VI.
nice. And anything you would like as a third song, maybe?
I don't know. Play a Lonely Rolling Stars song. I don't give a shit.
That works.
I don't give a shit.
That's the easiest thing ever. Oh, before, I don't know, will this be posted? Oh, no, we post them Friday, don't we?
Uh-huh.
Never mind. I was
Why?
going to talk about the Lonely Rolling Stars listening party.
Yeah.
That's tomorrow night.
I know.
Yep.
So that's why I said never mind. Because
So
we
And
post.
it's a
so tune in.
listening
So that was a
party.
really awesome listening party last night, wasn't
it? Was great. It was
That
wonderful.
was so good because it's totally Friday right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Totes my goats.
It totally
Totes my
glistened.
goats.
It totally glistened.
My balls glisten.
All right, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
Music. Woo! Segues.
Hey.
Thanks for joining us, Matt. It was awesome.
bye,
and
Matt. I love you.
I want to snuggle inside your massively awesome bosom soon.
Well, the bosoms are disappearing. I've been doing I'm at week 3 of the gym now or something like that.
Nice.
P90 triple X.
I've been doing
What?
an exercise bike, and I want to get to the point where eventually I'm going to do an entire episode on the bike.
That sounds awful.
Christ.
That would be hysterical, actually.
Yeah, I would.
That's going to be terrible.
We need to get 3 bikes. We need to get 3 bikes, and we're all on bikes the whole time.
SML.
SML Marathon Cast.
No, Marathon
Fuck.
Cast. What we'll do is we'll have people write in, and we'll have some sort of game where, depending on what happens when they write in, we have to increase our pace or something.
Oh, God. Oh, yeah, like the Game Olympics that we were supposed to do?
We
that's never-
did it. We did it.
I won.
Joe won.
Sure, Joe won.
Thanks again, Matt. Any final words for our listeners?
Don't go to MAGFest. It sucks.
now.